Banjo came to the island with Duke. You guys remember Duke? He was kind of a
He lived.
all-around guy that didn't have any, well, I shouldn't say scruples, but he didn't have any, he didn't,
Self-correct.
huh? Well, I don't know what to say about that, but anyway, he started out, Duke was helping me hay when I went in the valley, and that was in the 70s. And I'm on the tractor pulling the baler and a wagon behind, and Duke and Eddie are on the wagon. And I all of a sudden hear a bang! Pulled out a pistol and shot a mouse.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I shut that tractor down so fast I was back there in a second, just as that. And I said, "What was that?" I knew damn well what it was. And I said, "Either you don't do it again or give me the gun now." And that was it. But Eddie was a good worker and everything else. He was just a good little kid. He was a great guy. And he didn't know how to play the banjo when he came here. He learned it here.
Really?
Yeah. His mom knew Duke, and I guess Eddie was getting in a lot of trouble down in First Avenue, Seattle, and so he came up to live with Duke, like when he was like 13.
Yeah, he was a young kid.
Yeah.
13.
It was a rough place to live too. We have Duke stories.
Yeah.
Some of us.
Well, I'm not surprised to hear that he picked it up quickly,
Yeah.
because he was just, he was a natural musician. He's a natural musician. And one of the things that I want to emphasize is that I strongly resist having my name mentioned in the same paragraph as Banjo Eddie, because comparison doesn't withstand any sort of scrutiny. But I'm making an exception today for the Historical Society, because you want to preserve Banjo Eddie's memory and Banjo Eddie's banjo, both of which, in my opinion, are island treasures, and I'm glad you're preserving them. This is Banjo Eddie's banjo. It's a very nice, I would say, deluxe edition of a Hohner banjo. Many of them are made in Japan, which isn't a knock on them. I don't know where this one was made. I Googled Hohner banjos a bit, but I couldn't find on the web one of this quality with this much inlay on the neck and as much fine woodwork on the back of the neck.
Can you lift it up so we can see the whole banjo?
If you look closely, well, here, I can look closer.
Oh, I can see it. We can see it.
The carving on the elbow here, and also on the peg head. Again, that's not unheard of, but this degree of quality of those things is rare, so I can't put a price on this, but it's probably a couple $1,000s worth of banjo. It's a very nice sound. Another thing I would point out regarding Banjo Eddie is this coloration down here reveals the fact that as he was playing, he would plant his fingers on the banjo head, and he would move his hand up and down to get the particular tone he wanted, because you can hear, if you pick down here, it's different than up here, and the difference is very subtle, but that's what he trafficked in, was that very subtle sound, different intonation. And you can see that he spent a lot of time down here and up here. On my banjo, I just have this kind of coloration here from where my finger hits, and I don't have the ability to elicit that subtle difference in tone by moving up and down. I got my hands full just getting anything out of it. There are two different ways to play the banjo, basically. This is a 5-string banjo. It has this short 5th string that's tuned to the same as the 1st string at the 5th fret. There's another kind of banjo called a plectrum banjo that just has 4 strings, doesn't have this 5th string, and is tuned differently. It's, if you think about Mississippi River and ragtime banjo, that's usually plectrum banjo. This is a 5-string, and it's tuned to an open G chord usually. And there are 2 ways to play it. One is the way I play it, which is with a pick on the fingernail side of my middle finger. I pick down on a note, and then brush the strings, and then pick this 5th string. Bum titty, bum titty, the way it's usually described. The other way to do it, which is more like, but not exactly what Banjo Eddie did, is what's called 3-finger style or Earl Scruggs style. The people who invented this are still alive today. They're aging out, but it's a relatively new style of playing, where you use these 3 fingers. I just use these 2 fingers, my middle finger and my thumb. These guys use 3 fingers, and they put metal picks on those 3 fingers. I'm just going to do 1. And instead of covering the nail, it goes the other way. So you pick up on the string instead of down, or on what my style is called claw hammer, where it's said that the hand looks like a claw hammer somehow. You pick up with these 2 fingers, and then, like my style, down with the 5th one. So, and the players plant 1 or 2 fingers on the banjo head. That's what this is from. This coloration is from. Banjo Eddie played this style. But instead of using all 3 fingers all the time, he basically used these 2 fingers and only rarely used his middle finger. And I think that enabled him to have a style that really appeals to me. The 3-finger guys can overwhelm you. You can pack so many notes in using all 3 fingers and doing these what they call rolls. Anyway, they can pack so many notes in that it overwhelms the melody. And Banjo Eddie didn't do that. He had a pick on this finger, but he mostly only used these 2, and I think what that enabled him to do was produce a lot more notes than clawhammer style, but not overwhelm the melody with so many notes that it's just a cascade of notes, and it's easy to overwhelm the melody. So he basically used these 2 fingers and would bring this one into play when he needed to. Now, I can't demonstrate that because I can't do it, but I think it's important. Well, it's an important aspect of Banjo Eddie's play that, to me, distinguished his play and also made it better than the overwhelming 3-finger style that you see so much of today. And coupled with his ability to move up and down and get every nuance of tone out of the thing, and his familiarity with the fretboard, he would travel up and down the fretboard effortlessly. And catching notes along the way, knowing where each note could be found. That I think is a combination of great familiarity and hours and hours and hours of playing, but also a sense, that sense of pitch, and knowing you can, and being able to look at the strings and know about the fretboard and know where you can find the particular note that you're looking for. So he was certainly gifted, and it's too bad that we lost him when we did. I don't know much about Banjo Eddie's career as a banjo player. There are other people on the island who would know more. Mike Wast would be one. Michael McGinnis was, as you probably know, kind of looking out for Banjo Eddie toward the end of Banjo's life, and got him to the hospital to get his hernia repaired, and got him to the dentist to get his mouth looked at, and so on, because, as you know, he did a poor job of looking after himself. But that's not to say he wasn't generous. He was, what was his phrase? Love and respect. That's the way he greeted people and bade them farewell, sort of an aloha. Banjo Eddie's aloha was love and respect. So I'll play two tunes here. One that Banjo Eddie used to play, and one that I particularly like and would like to hear on this banjo. The first one's called Blackberry Blossom, and if you listen, you can go home and Google Blackberry Blossom, and you'll hear the three-finger players doing what I was just criticizing, as though I'm some sort of musical critic. Overwhelming number of notes, and Banjo Eddie could play this song without doing that, but still getting more notes out than what I'm going to play for you, because he could and I can't. So there it is. Blackberry Blossom. So there's a lot of buzz in this. Hear that? That means that I don't think Banjo Eddie could play it without getting that. Maybe I'm missing something. What that means is the action's too low. The strings are so close to the fretboard that when I fret it here, it doesn't clear the next fret enough, so it buzzes against that. And that can be adjusted by, there are rods that are in here. You can take this off and take this off and twist it. Anyway, that's, I don't know if Banjo Eddie would do anything about that or know how to avoid it. But anyway, that's what you hear. And that's inherent in banjos. Did I cover the tuner? This is a tuner. It lets me get the string tightened just the right amount. So here I want a D. That's too sharp. And there's a little needle. And so I just get that lined up right. I am heavily dependent on the Banjo Eddie has no use for this. He tuned things by ear and would correct the artificial tuners sometimes. Anyway, we do that by ear. The other mechanical aid that he did use sometimes is this. It's called a capo. And with the banjo tuned to an open G, sorry, D, G, B, D, if you're musically inclined, and then the top string, another G. If you put the capo on, you can just move everything up one or two half notes, one note. So this is an open A. But then you have to take this string and tighten it up. Grimacing all the time because you're afraid you're going to break it. There you can hear that buzz there. Here's a song called Clinch Mountain Backstep. Whoa, that doesn't sound right. And it's important when you play the band. The joke is banjo players spend half the time tuning the banjo and the other half playing it out of tune.
Still a little sharp.
That's more like it. That's the backstep. So, my other excuse is that Banjo Eddie did not use a strap on the banjo, and he held it like this, and I can't do that. So I have a strap on mine, so my shoulder takes all the weight, and this doesn't weigh on my fretting hand at all. But with playing it this way, I have to hold that up, which is a little bit of a problem. Anyway, I wish I knew more about Banjo Eddie's history with the banjo. I got a story from Mike Glost about an adventure where he and banjo went back to Mike's stomping ground in Minnesota and came limping back to Guaymas Island, having lost virtually everything there in some dispute over money and instruments. But other than that, I only knew him when he held court at his house. And he didn't have a lot of interest in what we call playing out. He did sometimes, and he was always sort of thinking about it, but he could never quite bring himself to get serious about it, because after all, if he could round up Jack Sparrow and Andy Gladish and Randy Reinhardt and Michael McGinnis, in his living room and drink whatever they wanted and smoke whatever they wanted and play whatever they wanted, what's better than that? And that's the way I see Banjo Eddie having exited this life, having determined that that was how he wanted to play his music, his way, on his banjo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome, yeah.
Very good.
Any idea where he learned to play the banjo?
No, I don't. But, no, we could speculate about that for a minute, because you guys have been here his entire presence on the island. Where would he have learned to play the banjo?
Not me, but
I don't know, probably Kit Marcinko probably had something to do with it. Jeff Winston probably did.
Oh, Jeff, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll bet.
yeah.
And he played with Mike and the Guaymas Island Boys. for a
Yeah,
while.
that was later though. Mike came later.
Oh, okay. I would
Or
also,
Mike McGinnis came later, yeah.
also suggest that all that had to be done was just hand him the thing. And like 2 weeks later, he'd have it down pretty well, I would think.
Yeah.
So it probably didn't take a whole lot of teaching.
Eric, do you remember what Kit played? I mean, he played the harmonica, he did guitar, right?
I mainly remember the harmonica.
Harmonica, me too. That was like in the early 70s. And I mean, he came in like 72, so he was playing with the big boys,
Mhm.
whatever he
Yeah.
was doing.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't spend much time in the minors.
No.
Thanks, bud.
Sure, yeah, my pleasure. As I said, I think both his instrument and he was and are island treasures, and I'm glad. It's really nice that his brother brought this back to the island.
Yeah.
And,
really is.
You gotta give it back to us though, now.
yeah.
So, does it make any sense to physically tune, in other words, fix that string, fix the rods?
Well, it depends on what you want to do with it. I mean, you heard how it sounds. It sounds okay.
Yeah.
I'm just, and looking at if you look at it this way, you can see how far the strings are above the neck. It's supposed to be a credit card thickness there. And you can see that it's a little less than that up here.
So that
It depends on what you want to do with
it.
it. And if you're not going to use it, I wouldn't mess with it, because the change is an amount that might happen if it's sitting in its case for 5 years anyway.
What about taking the resonator off and seeing if we can find a number?
That would be interesting. We can do that right now, I think, if you're willing to trust me. Turn the camera off.
Oh, no, we want this documented if anything goes wrong.
Insurance.
Yeah, there's a Guaymas Island historical tape that Mike McGinnis did, and Tom Deach interviewed him.
Oh.
And that would be one that he talks a lot about banjo in that. And it's in our archives, it's in, I think it's on our YouTube channel.
Michael kept banjo alive.
Yeah.
For years. Maybe for as long as I knew him. I came in, I started hanging around with those guys in 13. And from 13 to whenever he died in 21 maybe, or
Yeah.
something like that. Was it before or after
I think-
COVID? It was before COVID.
I think it was before COVID.
So it was 2018 maybe?
Yeah.
For those
Yeah.
5 years that I knew him, McGinnis was
Was
keeping
his
him alive.
right-hand man.
Yeah. Okay. I think this.
Don, did you ever see this? I just was handed that today by
Just put
somebody.
something under
Oh,
there.
from the
You
church.
can hold that up.
Yeah.
All right.
History of the bell.
Yeah, we don't have anything on, we don't have any church questions or anything.
Oh, maybe
Oh, that's
this
cool.
one's missing. As is this one. So this might be easier than I thought.
It's about the school bell. Don, I think you were the one who put the picture of Banjo Eddie with, I think Kit Machinko was in that picture. They're all very young.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, wow.
Ron Flint is another
Right.
There we go.
person to ask.
Here you can see what the
I
inside
talked to
looks like.
Ron and
Few
he's saying
insects
he's
in
not a
there.
musician. But he has
But no
knowledge.
Oh, let's see.
Wow. That was brave of you.
No, it's very secretive, but it's gold. I don't really know what that means, but mostly it's tarnished. Most banjos look more like this.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Oh, I have the feeling that I'm missing something, because a banjo of this quality should have some record of itself, but I'm not.
Well, maybe it's like filing off the serial numbers.
Well,
Maybe we don't want to know where you're
yeah,
going.
really. So,
Cool.
Thought maybe find a stash in there or something.
oh, you took this picture with I just can't help feeling like there's something right here that we're not seeing. Well, I'll poke around. There are websites like Banjo Hangout where you can post, describe this in 20 words and say, anybody know anything about it?
Mhm.
Wonder if I could take a picture of the inside of that just for,
Yeah, that
seems like a chance.
Anyway, well, more on banjo physics. So these two bars, this one goes up and helps hold the neck onto what's called the pot. And this one goes all the way up.
Okay.
And you can access the other end of it with these, take these 3 screws off and you'll see the other end of that here. And they even have holes in them, so you can insert a lever and lock,
Twisting.
yeah, twist them.
So that stamp at the bottom inside there,
That's on the head,
that's,
that's, yeah,
that's not unique to that one.
No.
Yeah.
it has to do with, right, it's not unique.
Well, it'd be nice to know the history of it, wouldn't it?
I wonder if Guast knows where this came from. From what I know of the history,
I'll text
Banjo
him.
and Mike came back from that Minnesota trip pretty empty-handed, so this would
Well,
post
Mike actually,
that.
on the video, on the oral history that I did with Mike, he
Yes.
talks about that trip
Uh-huh.
quite extensively. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a formative experience in his life. Dang, the numbers or the serial numbers are often sort of hidden
I should take a picture of
in
this.
obscure places, but I feel like I've looked everywhere.
There's a spot here that's been scrubbed or something.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that could be, it would not be unheard of, but,
Kind of forgot I was doing this.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize it.
But what was the name of the second song you played?
Clinch Mountain Backstep.
Back Step?
Backstep, yeah.
There seems to be like this call and response sort of rhythm to the,
Well, it's, the idea is what, that you're dancing along and then boom, and then you go again. So the 720 band has decided that it's cool to chop the song off right at the back step.
oh,
Oops, get down to, oh, there's one more place to look. You know, something else you could do would be, or I could, I'll give Becky to bring a set of strings for it. Don't restring it, put the strings in the case, and if you ever do want to use it, somebody might want to put new strings on it, so they'll be there if you need it.
but using it is not really an issue. I mean, and it's in fine condition to be used
Yes.
like it should be.
Yeah, it could go out into the world again if that's what you decide to do, or if some, you know, someone comes along that seems appropriate to do that with. When when Banjo Eddie died, Michael McGinnis took me aside and said, "I'm getting Banjo Eddie's banjo," as though he thought I had designs on it, which I didn't, but he wanted to protect it in case I did.
It was staking his claim.
Yeah.
Did he get it for a while?
Hmm?
Did he ever get it?
Well, I have always assumed he did, but then how did it wind up with, well, he probably then gave it to Banjo's brother, or Banjo's brother just
It was
said,
in
"I'd like to
his
have it."
his brother had it, and that's
Yeah.
how David
Yeah.
he knew his brother, and that's how he.
Yeah.
Or maybe even Michael wanted to make sure that his brother got it and took care to see that that happened. I just, it's part of one of the mysteries.
Okay, I just sent a text to Murphy, or not to Murphy, to Guast. To ask him how he learned to play the banjo and where he got the
Okay.
banjo.
Yeah, because I think Mike knew how to play the guitar when he came here. Well, who knows, who knows? I'm not the run this.
I think his brother played the guitar.
Uh-huh.
Eddie's brother played the guitar.
Oh, okay.
His older brother, yeah. Somehow it's in my head. It might have been something that Mike said.
Would that be the same person?
The other
who had
person-
the-
There's two brothers, I don't know.
Which one had the?
The other person you could talk to is Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow's comment a few months after Banjo Eddie passed away was he took the music with him, because that group that got together at Banjo, Jack, Banjo, McGinnis, Reinhardt, and Andy Gladish. Boy, they could have gone somewhere. That was, Randy Reinhardt tried hard to get that act out of Banjo's living room and onto the road somewhere, because We don't have anything like that
Yeah.
now.
My understanding is that Eddie really did have stage fright,
That's what everybody says.
but I don't know that, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he kind of partook quite a bit before
That's
he
the
played.
story as it comes to me. I wasn't ready to put it on
Oh,
the record, but,
I don't,
yeah, the flip side of that is the story that I told, which is, why would he wanna deal with any sort of anxiety?
That was
when he
probably-
could have
yeah,
everything
yeah.
he wanted,
yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
staying at home.
People came to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't seem to need an audience.
Well, you know, if his ear was tuned to the music, you know, that was maybe a lot further ahead in his brain than publicity or anything else like that. In other words,
That was, he was satisfied with that. He was content with getting together with his pals and playing good music. I mean, he wasn't gonna play, the music wasn't gonna get any better no matter where he went.